Hi friends, it's day 3. Yes, day 3. I'm between 2 and 3 hours in. I do still have a sore throat, but I'm dealing with that. It's weird because I feel okay otherwise. I'm not stuffed up or whatever. I just have like bad back throat. So good. Not good, bad. But I have just about finished things on page 6. Let me show you. So here's page 6. All these blank areas are areas where there is lettering, so I saved myself that work. You can see bink, bink. And what I just need to do is go back and do the grays, which this time I decided to leave till the end. You can see when I put the roughs in, it gives you more of an idea what it should look finished. But there's also something, I've talked about consistency of character design and things like that. Boots in the first book had shorts and bare legs and kind of shin guards and boots. In this one, I gave her a little mini skirt, and I think I originally intended her to have tights, which you can see kind of based on the shading here. But at some point, like between when I redesigned her outfit from issue 1 and I started drawing, the first couple pages she did not have tights, and her boots were a lot shorter. So now I'm getting into these later pages, and I'm seeing a lot of times she's drawn with these tights, so I need to make a decision one way or the other which way it's going to be, and then have to go back and make it consistent throughout, which is annoying, but, you know, this goes back to pre-preparation. Pre-preparation? Pre is already in the word preparation, isn't it? It's unnecessary. Preparation or pre-production of sketching the characters and maybe getting a turnaround or whatever. And this is something I struggle with too, because I do a lot of work up front and I'm slow and I always feel like I don't want to do too much. But then every now and then something like this, like I should have drawn her 1 or 2 more times before I started the issue, would have saved me more work later. But it's difficult to know sometimes how much work up front is saving you time and how much is just keeping you from getting to work. So I'm not crying over this milk that's spilt. What I'm doing is getting back to work right now. Just under 4 hours of work today now, and still not feeling awesome, but not feeling that bad. I'm not tired and sluggish and slow the way some. Yes, thank you for licking my arm, Uzi. But it is just annoying. It's annoying that my throat hurts. That's that. I did finish up page 6, grays and all. I will show you. A reminder: I have the lettering turned off, so those big blank spots are not on purpose. 2 things I'm doing a little different this book from the last one is I'm trying to limit my grays to just 2 tones. One layer of 25% and then another 25% over it to create 50, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the 25 layer, and this is sort of my quote-unquote coloring layer. So the gloves, the jacket, the seat, certain elements are like black or dark, but there's no shading. They're just colored, is what I mean. Then the other layer, which is also 25%, when I put it over it, it becomes 50%. So the shading on his face is just shading, but where it's on his shirt, it's darker, you see. And I did something similar to the last book, but I had more layers. I had 3, 4, 5. And with a few exceptions, I'm trying to keep it to just 2 this book. A, to make it easier, and B, to make it a more consistent look. The other thing I'm trying to do is have more blacks. This is something which I struggle with. Now, I have a lot of black in her hair, his hair, sort of the back of the bar, this one post, and I don't put a lot of blacks in my work. I don't put a lot of blacks in my work normally, but I feel like I was doing it even less on the first book because I knew I was going to do everything grayscale, and I'm just trying to, I don't know how good a job I'm doing, but I'm trying to make sure that I get enough blacks to help balance out the page compositionally, etc. So, on to page 7. A little bit over 4 hours work done, coming up on dinner time, and I'm also doing an Artcasters tonight with Scott Circland, possibly Kevin Cross, and Mike Emeritz. Jeff Lafferty could not make it, and it's a little bit unclear. It's kind of a last minute thing, but I know I'm going to be working later for sure. I mean, I've been working later anyway, but I know I have to be working later, so I'm going to take this opportunity to take a walk before it gets completely dark. So now I'm in a tree. Not very high up, but a little high up. It's a nice sit place. This is the area I normally come to where the sun is sort of modeling through the leaves, but it's so late in the day that it's just darkish now. But I wanted to mention something. I'm putting these out one day at a time, as I've done in past series, like when I did Hardcore Week and things like that, or even 100 Days of Making Comics. I wanted to keep to the daily format, but you're watching this on a delay. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after, whatever. But while I'm holding myself to those same rules, including making the video, because of the shortness of time and because I don't want to get bogged down in other things, I'm not editing, uploading, or doing any of that stuff with these videos until next week. After I get through this week, Q has off next week, and we're going to do a lot of house cleaning, a lot of the stuff that I've neglected this week, but also stuff that we've neglected for a while. And in with that, I'll probably start putting together videos like this one. So if you're doing a 100-day challenge or any other challenge, I usually recommend doing it daily, and I usually recommend putting it up that day. I'm allowing this to be different because I've done the 100-day challenge twice. I've done a God Beast Mode week, I've done a Hardcore week, all of them
daily. But to me now, the more important part is getting the 8 hours in. And so while I'm making these videos, I'm allowing that I don't have to put them up until later. And considering the last time I did this, I combined the whole week into one video and failed, and yet I still put it up, still held myself accountable, still presented it even though I failed. I trust that even though I'm not putting these up right away, it will still be fine. I'm still holding myself accountable. I'll still share it even if I don't succeed. I know I have that discipline and that thick-skinnedness. So yeah, although like I said, this challenge, I mean, I still might fail, but I don't think I'll fail as bad as I failed last time at the very least. So I'm not planning on failing. I'm not hoping to fail, but if I do, I want to fail better than I did last time. All right, back to walking, I suppose.
Probably the best thing to do when you're climbing down a tree is to film yourself doing it, so you only have one hand, and you're also worried about dropping your phone.
That amazingly went just fine. I usually listen to music or podcasts, but I've been trying to, I've studied a little bit of Japanese language, not much, but I'm trying to get back into it. I'm taking a class, and I'm listening to Pimsleur while I'm going for my walk. So once again, multitasking.
Back inside now. Some time has passed. I have about just under 5 hours. I have a little, like 3 hours, 5 minutes left to go. It's almost 8. Artcasters is at 9, so I'm going to take a break. I have been working some more. I'm working on the inks on page 7. I have one panel, not including grays, I have one panel completely done and one like 90% done that I'm just noodling with some details. I'll show you. That's the panel I got done, which was probably the easiest one on the page. And then I went, oh, that looks hard. I'll work on this one. So this one's almost done. I just got to put a little bit more detail in the background and stuff. And I'll be working on this while I do Artcaster, so that will count towards my time. But now, sustenance, in my mouth. Food, I mean, dinner.
It's about 10:45. I just finished doing the Artcasters with Scott Cirkland of Cirkworks, Mike Emeritz of Mike Emeritz Art and Space Cat fame, and Kevin Cross, I believe was his name. I don't know what he did. No, he's the creator of Monkey Mod, and of course the person who started the 100 Days of Making Comics. All of them whom also have their own shows and their own projects, and they're all worth checking out. But I'll put the link to the Artcaster show below. It's worth checking out. It's about an hour and a half of us talking about a variety of things, from the value of taking a cold shower to why we make art in the first place. Now, where am I going? Well, I still have about an hour and a half, I think, hour and 45 minutes to my 8 hours, which is good because it's early-ish. Usually it's about 2 in the morning when I'm at that point, but I really need to go to Target. I've been putting it off, but we have no milk. We don't have any burritos for Q, which is her main lunch thing, and so I'm going to go there now, take care of that, come back and do some more drawing.
Hey, look at that. Sunny is the Flash. I would have loved this promotion when I was a kid. You got some DC art there. You put them together, you get a poster man, a little quiz. The quiz is stupid, but a free DC comic inside. Yeah, that's a good prize. That's a good prize. I wish they still had that. I don't want it now, because I don't like that kind of cereal. I like this kind of cereal. Maybe, I'm not sure. Definitely this kind. Oh yeah.
Apple Jacks. I'm a Jack man from way back. Jack. Apple.
Got back from Target, put away all the food and stuff. Then I did about a half-hour work on the horror, the art, the whole point of this whole thing. And then I decided to have a coffee and donut, because I bought donuts at Target for Q, but I'm like, I want a donut too. And I wanted a cup of coffee that had a real amount of milk, unlike this crappy cup I had earlier. That's all besides the point. I got less than an hour to go on my tally of 8 today, which I'm going to get back to in a minute. I went ahead and did the dishes. I've been doing some chores today, which I shouldn't, but I've actually been, weirdly, even though I got up late, I've been on like a better schedule and as far as getting the 8 hours done. So I've been getting a few chores done. I actually played 2 games of Overwatch with Q, although usually I would play 3 or 4, so I stopped myself. I did the Artcasters, obviously, but that was good because I worked while I did the Artcasters. And usually when I do a hangout, well, often when I do a hangout, I find that I don't get as much work done, but I think because I was just inking and it was, I didn't have to think about what I was doing, I got just as much, if not more, work done than I normally would, so bonus that. So I got about 8 minutes on this episode. Actually, it's only one episode I've watched all day. I started it in the morning with breakfast and stopped halfway when I finished eating, so it's 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes now. Hello. Back at the old art table, I've just hit my 8 for today, so first time accomplishing that. And I'm going to go a little bit more to try to eat into that debt that I have from the previous days. Do you like my sore throat voice? Hi. This movie has been rated awesome by the Motion Picture Awesome of Awesome. Gee, way up the Swanee River. It's probably not Good for me. All right, that's it. I'm calling it a night. Day. Finished. Day 3. The most successful day so far. I did my 8 hours, and then I did more. About 30 minutes or so. I saved up the accumulated time I was in deficit for previously, and just set that on a timer and reduced it, so I'm at like 55 minutes that I owe. So, assuming I do my 8 hours the next 2 days correctly, then I just have to do a little less than a half hour each of those days, or 1 hour one day. Things are looking more possible than they did earlier in terms of hitting the 40 hours this week. So, that's it for today. I guess I'll show you real quick. This is page 7, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 panels done. I gotta put the grays in. This 8th panel, I think I might do some reuse, so there probably won't be a lot of work that I have to do there. But we'll get into that tomorrow. So until then, hasta lasagna.